You are now listening to Crypto Files. And if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you end up liking the content. I am up to 80 subscribers as of today, November the 13th, 2021. So a huge thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. And I will be giving back to the community once either I hit 500 or 1,000 subscribers. I have not decided, so I'm brainstorming, but I will be giving away some crypto. I can say that. So stay tuned and keep watching the videos for additional details as we get closer to 500 and 1,000 subscribers. And also, do not take any of my content or anything I say in these videos as financial advice. So don't go trading your crypto or any of your NFTs based on my content. With that being said, what am I covering today? It's the big boss, the player, number one, Bitcoin. And Bitcoin deserves some attention because it will be receiving its first upgrade, which is a major upgrade since 2017. So we're sitting at $64,000 at its current price, and it's not too shabby. Let's take a look at the year, and we saw Bitcoin have a huge rise back in 2020 as we went into 2021. So it's going to be a year since we started seeing the price go from 18,000 to 50,000, 60,000, and then over the summer we had a dip, and now we're back up to $64,000. There was a correction on Wednesday, but it wasn't that bad. There was a lot of individuals who were panicking on Twitter. And honestly, if you were panicking, I don't think you've lived through a crypto winter. And that was nothing. We're back up to 64,000. If anything, that was a sell for you to pick up more coins. If you were interested in picking up coins, I like it when prices dip and I purchase stuff at the bottom. Now, what is this upgrade that we're talking about? It's called a Taproot. It's a highly anticipated upgrade, as this article from Make It CNBC states, and sources say it'll go live as soon as Saturday. So tomorrow it can go live. And this is its first major upgrade since 2017, which will introduce what's called the Schnorr signatures. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But what's it going to do for us? It's going to help Bitcoin transactions become more private, efficient, and less expensive. Most importantly, the upgrade will be better to enable Bitcoin to execute smart contracts on the blockchain. That's right, folks. You guys heard smart contracts. Something that the Ethereum network has definitely been able to expand on with NFTs and dApps that use these smart contracts. It's impossible to predict the future, so just keep in mind, although this is a very highly anticipated upgrade, we don't know what the price is going to do. Some analysts are calling for the price to keep rising, especially because of this upgrade. But I will tell you, crypto is a wild ride. So don't go thinking that the price is going to go crazy, and at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen. This game might gain traction. Somebody somewhere might announce that they're purchasing more Bitcoin, causing the price to go up. Or we might have somebody like China spreading some FUD and causing the price to continue to go down. Right now, the biggest topic is the Evergrande issue that they're having with the economy, and that is affecting Bitcoin in some ways. But just keep your eyes closed on the price as the smart contract upgrade gets enabled. So Schnorr signatures can be leveraged to let Bitcoin users execute more complex smart contracts than Bitcoin can currently accomplish today. That's big because one of the key differences between Bitcoin and newer blockchains like Ethereum is their suitability for smart contracts. Very true. We've seen the expansion of decentralized finance, which is DeFi and applications, non-fungible tokens, just blow up on Ethereum's network. And let's take a look. But while Bitcoin likely won't ever be as flexible as Ethereum from a smart contract standpoint, with Taproot, that gap will now narrow. So they're working towards it. Yes, of course, even with an upgrade that is this big, it won't be making Bitcoin a Ethereum killer, but we're starting to see some support there. And these upgrades are helping the network. They are helping the utility of Bitcoin. Some investors just see it as a store of value, And with that, there comes confidence as the network gets larger and larger and more institutions start to invest in Bitcoin. But ultimately, one important aspect of Bitcoin that's attractive, it's its privacy. And with this Taproot upgrade, it's about to get better because Schnorr signatures will ultimately allow for multi-signature transactions, or those that involve multiple addresses, to appear as a standard single transaction. Very, very, very cool. As a result, multi-signature transactions will be indistinguishable from simple transactions, meaning greater anonymity and privacy for addresses involved in a multi-signature transaction. So there's definitely that attractive aspect of privacy even improving on Bitcoin. It was already attractive. It's getting even more attractive, right? And that means cheaper transactions. So the Schnorr signatures will also reduce the amount of data needed for multi-signature transactions, which are more complicated to process than standard ones. And this is what's making the smart contracts possible, because these transactions will require and reduce the amount of data. There's potentially room for smart contract data to be executed on the transaction. So a lot to take in. Very, very good. We're looking at cheaper transactions. We're looking at better privacy and ultimately an upgrade to smart contracts. And that will impact Bitcoin very well. Now, with that being said, I did want to go ahead and cover something that might answer some questions to some individuals who are wondering, well, who's doing these upgrades and who's taking care of Bitcoin and its network? Well, if we look here on CoinDesk, they went ahead and published an article back in September 30th of this year by Jackson Wood that described the process for these upgrades to be implemented. And so right now, Bitcoin has what's called the Bitcoin core developers. And this is an international team of developers, often called maintainers, that is constantly monitoring and improving the working, and they're working on Bitcoin and its blockchain, right? Now, because Bitcoin is decentralized in its nature, meaning not one company takes care of the actual network, these companies that are funding these maintainers are companies you have probably heard of. Some of the companies mentioned are Square, Coinbase, and Gemini. And there's others, obviously, but the community that maintains Bitcoin involves some of these companies to make sure that development continues. So Bitcoin improvement proposals, those are called BIPs. These are often core developers will propose these changes to the Bitcoin network. And these changes are referred to as BIPs. And so, true to Bitcoin's decentralization nature, can barely talk, I apologize, anyone can propose a BIP. So not just these core developers can propose a BIP, but anyone can. But ultimately, the community will discuss each BIP until it's ultimately accepted or rejected. Now, what happens if it is accepted? Well, upon acceptance, each BIP is assigned a number and officially published on the Bitcoin Core GitHub. Now, once that is done, then the Bitcoin Core developers get to work. They test the upgrade and make sure it's safe and there's no bugs on the Bitcoin network. And once they've reached satisfactory status and they've done all their due diligence, then there's an activation plan which is created. And that activation plan gets placed on the network for approving the BIP and the activation plan. The code is changed and then ultimately upgraded, and the upgrade is implemented. So it goes through a series of steps that need to be taken care of, and it involves the community, voting of the community. There's action plans that are approved. You get the idea. So the last upgrade that we saw was back in 2017, which was called Segwit. And I hope I'm also pronouncing that right. But that was BIP 141. And this upgrade modified that Bitcoin code and effectively increased the block size by removing the signature data from Bitcoin transactions. In short, BIP 141 upgrade allowed more transactions to be included in each Bitcoin block and therefore increased the Bitcoin transaction volume, which was we can tell was needed. We've seen the Bitcoin network get bogged down very easily, and this was back in 2017. If I recall correctly, back in 2017, I want to say Bitcoin's market cap, what are we at today? We're over $1 trillion. We're 1.2. I want to say maybe it was 600 billion, maybe 800 billion during the bull run. So I'm assuming that this was really, really helpful, especially in 2017. And then this article talks a little bit about the Schnorr signatures and this current upgrade, which is the Taproot upgrade, which I just covered. So a lot of cool things happening with Bitcoin. It's nice to see it get some support, some development. It's keeping up with some features like smart contracts and some upgrades that are going to allow some of these transactions to go down in price. Keep an eye on the price. Sometimes I've seen crypto act really, really weird when I hear good news or something's going to happen that I think the price is, going to rise because of it. It usually doesn't mean anything. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, and go ahead and leave your opinion in the comments. Some people are calling for 100,000 or over 100,000 by the end of the year for Bitcoin's price, and some are saying that that's just not possible. I will say that it could potentially happen because I've seen parabolic movements in the past, and if you know parabolic, you know what can happen. So leave a comment. I'd like to see your guys' opinion, and we'll see what happens. So keep an eye on Bitcoin. This upgrade will go on the network tomorrow. With that being said, again, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, right now Bitcoin sits at $64,000.